Alright, so we are back at it today. We're going to jump in here as soon as this loads up. I think I did go in and fix all the, the, the creations that were loading that I didn't want anymore, so I got rid of those. Some things may look a little different, but then again, we really shouldn't notice much of a change. Okay, so next thing we need to do is now we got to put on our diplomatic hat and go do some diplomacy stuff. Excuse me.
These orders.
Alright.
A Vanguard captain. Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require.
Here we go.
That must make you my Vanguard captain.
Sure does.
Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second in command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack.
A little.
You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Well, we do know, so we're going to say, yeah, they're the repositories for all the banned data from the Colony War, as Adrian filled us in back on Mars.
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Faroon.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Faroon to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
Alright, so I usually... so we're gonna ask this one here first.
No. Each is a strip of several million random numbers generated on the fly based on biometric keys kept by each of the ambassadors on their person at all times. They're impossible to create without those keys, and those keys stay with the ambassadors, meaning we're accessing nothing if we can't get them on our side.
Alright, now, this is kind of cool if I wanted to say this. Yeah, no problem. I'm just going to need some electrodes, tooth extractor, and some sodium pentothal. But, here, let's hit with this one. You think they'd be clamoring to help after the spaceport attack?
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here.
Oh, man.
Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
Okay.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Faroon?
Alright, tell me about the Freestar ambassador.
The good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Alright, well, Let's go with, tell me about these other tools.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
Okay. What about the staff member?
Name's Cameron Long. He's younger than Ratcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards the UC. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for information on the ins and outs of embassy life, and someone who very likely hates her guts.
Alright. Any other things I should avoid?
Yes, many. Don't steal anything. Don't get caught anywhere you're not supposed to. Absolutely do not harm anyone. If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over, but I can't make any promises.
I can't make any promises that nothing will go wrong. Come on now. Alright, so that's all I need.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up, you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Nice. Okay. Alright, so tell me about this House Varun guy.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge.
When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here.
He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
What's wrong with House Varun?
Well, these days, they're primarily considered a security threat. House Varun Zealots, a fundamentalist outshoot of the group that stayed behind when the rest retreated into seclusion, want nothing more than to send everyone not dedicated to their cause to the great serpent in the sky. But that hasn't always been the case. After they ended the Serpent's Crusade about 70 years back, House Varun did take a real run at trying to normalize relations with the rest of the galaxy. It's why they have an embassy here in the first place, why they were included in the armistice negotiations. But then, without warning, they left, leaving behind, to our knowledge, just the ambassador and his duty under the armistice.
Alright, well, I'm going to say, I'm sure you can be reasoned with. They're just people like us.
Well said. There's no reason to assume they're any worse than us, despite their cultural beliefs.
Of course, but there is another wrinkle. We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive.
That's hard to negotiate.
His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice.
Alright. What kind of life signs did you get?
The Varun delegation brought more than a few of their native flora with them when they set up in the embassy. It seems those plants have been allowed to flourish, making it hard for us to verify what's flora and what's ambassador.
You're saying the plants ate the ambassador? Wait, no one has actually been inside the embassy?
The embassy is still legally House Varun's sovereign territory, so we're not technically permitted inside. We've snuck in the occasional spy, of course, but the ambassador has proven more evasive than you'd expect for a man of his age. But we're quite sure he hasn't left the city. The man stands out.
Interesting. Because if you snuck a spy in, they would at least came back and told you what the condition of the embassy was. Right? And what do I do if he's dead?
Then you search the embassy for his biometric key, collect your code piece, and we'll go about notifying his next of kin, if we can ever find them. But let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Here's hoping we're not chasing course.
It would at least be a speedier negotiation. But I, of course, hope the ambassador is alive and well.
Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Roger that.
Yes?
Let's see what we got. Alright, so we're off to the embassy here. Not too far.
See that scientist out in front of mast, staring at trees? Sounds upset. Whatever it is, it can't be that bad.
Oh, I thought I did that already. Okay, well, let's see.
Maybe we should stop for a moment. Hard to believe it's been 2 decades since we were at war with the Collective, when it seems like only yesterday.
I still don't like that.
You are a visitor? You'll find the ambassador in our office. Go on through.
I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective.
We know
But you
this.
lead, and I'll follow.
Well, thank you. I think I wasn't expecting this to see. Yes, I've done this so many times already.
Agent detected. Patching in playback.
Son of a bitch! Cameron! Are you alright, Ambassador? It seems the Council of Governors has rejected my appeal to join. Again, which means you and I are stuck in this colonial rat cage until we die. But I think we might need to. We should expedite but that's the process.
What are you getting at, ma'am?
I mean, my requests keep being rejected because they don't want to add a C, right? But what if? What if one opened up? Sometimes it's hard. It's what it used to be. It's not like anyone would miss him.
Eva, I think it's time to get some sleep.
Just think about it. Maybe we can reach out to some experts at that sort of thing, huh?
Good night, Eva.
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment?
I sure do. Well, let's see what we got. I'm here on behalf of colleagues, so start things. Oh, I'm going to. We're gonna go here. Captain Nova Blaze, UC Vanguard. You and I need to talk. That's good.
Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all.
Absolutely.
I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right.
Oh, please, please, please. Oh, baby, please. No. Let's see. You need to help us, otherwise more deaths are on your hands. Or, if you're correctly, you need access to the archives.
I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go?
Well, you don't look like a friend. Now, we know we got our ace in the hole with her plan to replace some of the Council of Governors. But, and I forgot to take my enchilada before we started, so dang it. But I am going to try the persuasion route, just because in order to increase it, I need to be successful at it.
You're really gonna push this?
I sure am.
All right, I will give you one chance. One to convince me. Understood.
Alright, so we'll jump right into it.
I'm listening.
So right now, right off the bat, we need 8 persuasion points, but we know that we basically have 3 strikes, and it doesn't end on a success. So we can just keep being successful and get all the way through, even if we use up all our turns. We're going to start with red, so we're going to go with green.
You know that for sure. That is interesting.
Then we're going to hit her with the 1. So we're going to hit her. You were a soldier. It was your job to protect. And that's what we need to do and intend to do with this data.
I suppose you're right. Our job and our responsibility.
Alright, so now one thing I saw when it first, in the beginning, when I saw a bunch of people playing and saw a lot of playthroughs, everybody would panic right here and say, oh, I need 4, so I gotta go. And that's not the case. Like I said, because if you're successful, it does not end. If we're unsuccessful, then yeah, it ends. How many lives are you willing to risk here because you have a grudge against the UC?
It's possible I might be letting my history cloud my judgment. Possibly.
Alright, so we have no more greens. So this one is going to be the wrong one. The city was attacked. How can you do nothing in a situation like this? I think I'm gonna go with this one.
And those lives are in my hands. Well, Captain, you make some good points. But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions. Your access will be limited. You can only take out the items related to stopping these terramorphs. The monitors will make sure of it. You go in once, you get everything you need on your trip, and never again. And all research done with the data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight. Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks. So, do we have an agreement?
As long as you don't get in the way, sure. I don't see a problem.
Excellent. Follow me.
Well, that was easy. Much easier, said. Much easier than I expected. Sarah, get out of the way. We didn't even need good old boy Tom. I think it was his name. Cameron. Cameron Long. Not Tom.
They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. Here you go. I hope that'll be enough to maintain your discretion.
See, that's weird because, like, what
There's something I need to
discretion?
talk to
We
you
didn't talk about what I
I'm
know.
listening.
So why are you worried about me keeping my mouth closed? So that was weird. That's a weird thing, and I
It's
think
good to be back at
because
the
we
embassy.
know it's coded in there that that's what's going to be.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby,
Their
offices,
response.
or conference room.
It wasn't a necessary
means you.
response. Basically, it should have been coded in there as if only we brought it up. Just because we know, she doesn't know. She doesn't know what we know. Alright, so now
I'm sorry, but I need sign-off from the Interstellar Affairs office before I can send.
let's get on over to House Room.
What? Oh, sorry.
Are you working toward that next technological leap? Then let reunion
Alright, here we go. Now, time to go and figure out what's going on in there. See if there's any man-eating plants and stuff inside. You ready, sir? Let's get in here. Alright, let's go first person. We don't know what we're fixing inside.
When you have a moment, I'd like to speak to you.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, what is it? This isn't what I expected at all. It appears the flora they were using as decor has overgrown the entire embassy. There's something I'd like to discuss.
Excuse me. I'm activating the turrets to kill anything on the other side there. Once we get in here, might as well have the turrets on our side to start. Oh, hey, that's a little drink. We don't need that. Let's go and bring it. Sell it. We can sell it. So the ambassador is trying to talk to us. At least that's what it sounds like, right? So nothing. Beware the defenses. Okay. Why would you bring these plants? 3 trees.
I've never seen a tree like this before in my entire life.
I know you want to see. Hold on a second. Well, does this seem like the time that I have a few minutes, Sarah? I can't even see you. You're just a voice in my head. Alright. Don't block the way. Protect me. Anything good in here? Am I seeing blurry? It feels like I'm seeing blurry because that mist is doing a little something to me. A little happy mist. Alright. Let's get here first. Update from the foe. Recalibrate, and then remove. Hopefully this doesn't kill the old guy, right? Activate the units. Alright. We can take a nap if we want. I need to sleep off some of this mist. Don't mind if I do. If I hadn't done that, they'd have been attacking me. It's a weird flex, but okay. Just mannequins all over the place, just chilling, hanging out. A robot in the shower. Okay. Okay, come on, guys. Starting to be a little creepy. That mist, man. That mist. Oh shoot.
Take him down.
That was another one right there. See red dots. This one here. Already got buttons from the last one. Oops. Let's see. Here. No signal. There you go, Sarah. Look at that. Wait. Now we got 2 others. Alright. Let's figure this out. a little bit. Money. Gotta love that sweet loot. Wacky nest. Alright. Let's see. Here, we see some stuff. I wonder if we did that in the beginning. Okay, so something waiting for us behind this door.
Wait. Did you hear that?
I feel that.
I know you don't. You okay?
Hold on, hold on.
Well, I suppose they're not going to need it anymore.
Whoa. We're gonna get our apples, our square apples. Ooh, hey. Chunk kitty. Whoa. Five. Okay. They really made that place just seem so great. I hear him talking to me, but you see him looting, bro. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's around. Just stop me. And as long as it doesn't have the little red thing, it's fair game. Alright, so one more switch. And what's in here? Is there anything worthwhile? That's the turret here. We already took out the turret, so don't worry about that one. Nothing. Whoops. Out the way we came in. Back down. And then down here. Okay. That should have worked. Did I hit the switch? Thought I did. Oh wait, you know what? My bad. He's still here to talk to us. That's what I didn't do. Is after I turned the power on, fine in the basement. And yes, there have been multiple times that I've done that, thinking I hit that switch and gone down. Realize I did not. See now it's beware the guardians. Guardians.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss.
Remember, I can't take anything without being stealing.
Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge, and then silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly? Harmless spores, you have my word, but hard to navigate. Hence why I was guiding you through the intercoms to restore the environmental controls. And release me. It is the sap of the tree that gives it its... well, perhaps not a topic for this exact moment. But I must know of the rest of the city. Does it still stand?
Yeah, spaceport is in rough shape, but not much else is damaged.
Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door, hmm? And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code. So the UC requires information, then. On terror morphs, presumably, hmm? Do I see this all clearly?
You do.
The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there.
Sure is.
But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy. With little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. Ensure House Varun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Oh, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them.
You have my word. I will make sure it's used for good.
As the chair of Constellation, I take personal responsibility in vouching for this woman's integrity. She'll keep her word.
Well then,
No idea what she
I shall not fear. Please, follow me.
When you have a few moments, there's something I'd like to discuss.
Sarah, what are you doing?
Let's hope it still works. And there. Let it be used for good.
Whoop, I got it. Did I get it? Did I get it?
I will not have House Varun be known only for slaughter. House Varun committed itself to the armistice. This was said at the time to be the desire of the Great Serpent, and I do not believe the Serpent decides such things on a whim. So, when my brethren left, I remained, honoring the Serpent's will as I saw fit. as is the right of all his followers.
Okay.
It was tolerable, even pleasant, when my brethren were here in the embassy with me. We remade this place as best we could into a home we all would recognize. Our native flora, our iconography, our connection to the serpent, they came with us. With my brethren gone, it has been trying. But the Great Serpent has always provided me a path in my darkest moments.
Alright, that's it. I'm not gonna ask him about that. Well,
The affairs of House Varun are our own. They left. That is all there is to be said on the subject.
pretty testy about that. Alright, we got all the stuff over there. Sarah's broken. And oh wait. What? Oh, bro, what are you doing, Sarah? This is messy. Loot properly. Gotta get that vacuum tank. This in the middle here.
I see you've done that before. We should have a talk. When you have the time, of course. Hey.
You know, sir, I'm not gonna talk to you wasted.
Remember our last conversation? When
you were down on
it got
the
me
floor?
thinking. So I dove into our archives and started looking through Constellation's older journal entries. Just because I wasn't familiar with the experience you described doesn't mean the same might have been true for my predecessor. Unfortunately, no. Other than you and Barrett, there were no records of direct encounters with the artifacts. I have to admit, though, I did get more than a bit sidetracked reminiscing about old times.
You never mentioned your predecessor.
Really? I'm surprised that I haven't. After reading those journals, all of the pleasant memories of my time spent with Aja just started flooding back.
So you keep talking like that, and I'm like jealous, right? Aja?
Aja Mamasa. She was the youngest member of Constellation when it was founded. Only took her 15 years to reach chair. Sorry, I sometimes get so caught up in my own bubble, I forget that I wasn't the first. She absolutely was. Aja was the one that taught me the ropes at Constellation and took me under her wing as her protege.
We're gonna hit it with this one.
Yeah, I thought so too. That's why I adopted her methods. You know, Aja and I logged quite a few interesting discoveries together. But it was the journey itself that I'll never forget. We catalogued unusual stellar phenomena, a few habitable worlds, and some unique life forms, but nothing SSNN would bother to report. Exactly. For me, it was all about the quieter moments. There was Nothing quite like sitting back and watching space bend while listening to Aja spin vivid stories to fill the time. Oh, I find that sort of cozy isolation the best way to really get to know someone.
Cozy isolation?
Yeah, you know, being alone in interstellar space, nothing but light years of black around you. Some people find that terrifying. I find it comfortable. It helps me bond with my shipmates. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. You know, all this talk about Aja reminds me that my time with her was a gift. I miss her dearly.
Alright, so. Where to go with this one?
No, she retired. Living on Porima 2 now, I think. Come to think of it, if we're ever out that far, perhaps we could pay her a visit, and I could make proper introductions. Well, I don't expect you to be a carbon copy of Aja. Just be yourself. You see, it's clear that we share the same hunger to discover what's out there. And that, well, that's what intrigues me about you. Good. Then we're both on the same page. Anyway, that's all I had to discuss for now, so if you'd point the way, we can continue our journey.
Okay, if you can get back up and follow me like a normal human being.
Anything valuable?
Some stuff, but not Sarah, get up. Oh, there we go. Much better, Sarah. Much better. Alright, let's get these codes turned in.
Ryujin Industries is looking for the...
What can I help you with? Bye for now.
Oh, come on now. Gosh, darn it. Alright.
Yes? What?
Captain, you're back sooner than... Oh, wait. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? and Balmore.
Did you expect any
We're
less?
all in agreement. So the old man was still lurking around in there. Fine work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Nothing but.
Okay. Hello.
Oh, hello. A lot of running around for this.
Battle of Cheyenne by the Freestyle Collective's Dragons of the Fleet. Both sides.
Forever to get this leadership skill upgraded.
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules.
Okay, there you go. Let's say that.
Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units. Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin.
Alright. There's one. 2.
Verified. Unlocking. You may proceed, Captain.
Sad part is, even if you can't do anything else but grab that, you can't get into any of the others. So all that ish about don't touch anything else, don't grab anything else, it's not there for you. It's not there. So much ado about nothing. Alright, let's get back.
Be careful if you run into those ecliptic jerks.
Went the long way around this time.
Hello.
There you are.
Captain, Deputy told me what went down. Impressive work.
Captain, if you'd be willing to transfer the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing what comes next.
Time for us to start getting some real answers. And figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready. You're carrying the most comprehensive collection of information on terramorphs in the known universe. If we can't pry an answer out of there, it likely doesn't exist. Certainly doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but we're not going to know until Percival and I dig in, so whenever you're ready. Acknowledged and accepted, Captain. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
Hey.
We're hiring, if you're interested. Ask in the security office.
I think I got enough jobs right now.
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies?
Let's see. Just double checking.
It doesn't. We don't really care where else you might have been or might become a citizen. Once you earn your place in the United Colonies, it's yours.
I'm ready.
Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen?
I will.
Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation. We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property. Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position. Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the terramorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name. So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms? I'm sorry. I can't share any more without your word. Do I have it?
I wonder if I said thanks but no thanks. What would that do? I just never have, so.
Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
I'm a citizen. Only that was real life. Whistles still, but whistles better than I do. Can't whistle at all. Terrible. Alright, let's go see what we got.
I've lived in New Atlantis almost my entire life, and I had no idea this place even existed. The UC certainly excels at keeping secrets.
Logging authorized entry. Unsealing access. You may proceed down the corridor. But there are no additional visitors permitted. Your friend's gonna have to wait out here.
I'll be fine. You go on ahead.
Okay. Don't want to get hit by that door.
Welcome, Captain. Please, come down and approach the intercom. You and I should chat. President Abeyo was kind enough to give me a few files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments you've managed. But now you face a foe unlike any other. An invisible enemy, lurking in the shadows. You're going to need all the help you can get. Which is why I hoped we could speak. Do you know who I am?
Well, we could be smart and say, a guy who couldn't afford a place with a view, clearly. I usually like to...
Perceptive. I like that. I'm Francois Sanon.
Adrian's
but most know me as Victus. I was an admiral during the Colony War. One of its great villains, if you believe the slates. I was to be executed for my crimes, but the previous regime deemed me too valuable to simply discard.
Probably why they cloned
So they put me here. A sacrifice on the altar of peace. Even my death served the colonies. One final act of rebellion by the leadership that lost the Colony War. The trial was authentic. I faced tribunal with dignity, but my execution, staged. A lethal injection that was anything but. The cabinet at the time, long gone now, wished to keep me on as an advisor, and considering the other option, I was in no place to refuse. So I elected to trade my freedom for my continued existence. But such is the life of a soldier. Very astute. That's my daughter. My progeny. You've been working alongside. Has she shared with you the nature of our little family?
Yep, she told me she's your clone.
Did she? So willing to trust Hadrian. I never did succeed in driving that out of her. Our relationship has always been a challenging one. The Major was born to become a great leader, carry on the legacy I established, and was given all the finest training to support it. And she excelled. But the universe cut all that short. Now, though, it's placed even more crucial work in front of the two of you. And I think I have a part to play in helping you accomplish what you've set out to do.
And what are you offering?
It was an attempt by the United Colonies to solidify its own legacy, forging a new generation of great leaders. They were raised by adoptive families made up of scholars and tacticians, trained at the United Colonies' greatest scientific and military academies, displayed incredible promise. But by the time the Colony War came to a close, there was only Hadrian. But that's ancient history now. You have much more pressing matters at hand, with which I can help.
So, I don't know. This is a tough one because, it's... When you're thinking of it from just the standpoint of, like, immersion in it, you're appalled. But, again, we know that the circumstances to his whole conviction and everything wasn't truly just his fault. We know he did awful things. Okay, yes. We know he's an awful person just in talking to him right here. But...
Nothing else then?
I still got some stuff.
After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting me to work alongside one of their recovery teams, helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios to lure in some of the criminals that evaded justice after the Colony War. With quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, I managed to find something else. The names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort you're about to embark on. I'll tell you where they are, but in exchange, I need something dealt with.
See, now, I don't like the way he said that. I need something dealt with. But the potential here is so we can go after baddies with your help. Right? So that makes them a useful tool. See, there we go. You track down war criminals. People like you. How does that work exactly?
Well, who better to find them? But many of them I knew personally. And I've always had a mind for details. Where someone was born, next of kin. You'd be shocked how often an otherwise brilliant criminal flees to the planet just next to the one where they were born, or where a family member resides. I simply use my own personal knowledge and the information our group collects for me to track them down and set things right.
Okay. Alright, go on.
There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald Orlaise. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colonies' more problematic lines of research. Mech weapons were his specialty. If it dealt death, he could make a deal more. When the Colony War ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued to peddle his skills to the highest bidder to this day. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him, however you're able. I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done, and I'll tell you what I know.
Okay, so we're not going to consider him dust. How about I arrest him and turn him over to the UC?
You certainly try, but the man's been out there 20 years. He's likely gone feral by now. Easier for all if you simply blow up his ship and be done with it.
I'm not killing anyone, but if he's actually as bad as you claim, I'll consider bringing him to justice.
If that's what you require to sleep at night, so be it. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria, Wolf System. There is a star station in the vicinity, the Den. The head of the local vanguard, one Captain Marquez, should be able to help you find our man.
Okay. Interesting. Do we tell Hadrian her dad is alive?
Identity verified.
Shoot,
You
right
may
now, do we
proceed
tell
to the exit.
Sarah what just happened?
Yeah? Okay.
We need to go see somebody first, though.
I asked my boss what they're doing to stop new alien attacks on the city.
Hey, Deputy.
Captain, did your meeting go well? I hope it's clear now why we needed you to agree to all the secrecy.
I wasn't prepared for that.
Surprised me too when I learned it. But the prisoner has proven useful over the years, and kept far from any major decision-making. But I do think it's worth re-emphasizing. No one else can know about this. All right?
Wait. Why isn't Adrian being told?
The Major doesn't have clearance for this sort of information. And
It's
she
her dad.
certainly doesn't need a distraction from her current, very important work. Which is why I need you to keep this to yourself. Good. Because bringing this up to the outside world would create the unfair appearance, Captain, that you're unhinged. And that's not a good look for any of us. Now, was there something in particular you needed to discuss about what we were just discussing? Dr. Reginald Orlaise? He's finally found him. Of course, killing Orlaise is completely out of the question. But bringing him to justice... He's been on the lam for years. That'd be a huge win for the UC. What's being offered in return? Really? He found the members of the research team. We'd already initiated a search for them, but it'd save a lot of time and manpower if he just gave us that information. Captain, if that's the deal, you have my endorsement. Just so long as you make every effort to bring the man in alive. Now, was there anything else you wanted to discuss regarding your meeting?
Every effort. I see.
Trusting the man downstairs would be a mistake. But I don't think you need to be too concerned. This is far from the first name he's handed over, and all previous missions went off largely without a hitch. So while I'd certainly warrant caution, I think you can proceed.
Okay.
Then I'll bid you good day, Captain, and remind you of the importance of discretion.
Yes? What?
Alright. So I think that's where we leave it, right here. We're gonna go over to Wolf. where the den is, that system, roof system, and we got to talk to Captain Marquez at the den, so we can get the location of Dr. Reginald Orleans. And then we go out and try to apprehend them. So next time, that's where we'll pick it up. And I have no idea where Sarah is. She was behind me. But now she's chilling. She's probably like crouched down in a corner somewhere. Who knows? Okay, well I was waiting for her, but I guess it's just me. Alright. Thank you again. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. You know, let's keep this going and see if we can get some more videos out there. Right? Later.